Hello there, Scott from Wessex Blades. And a message from someone in the UK that they bought one of the Aldi grinders that I put everybody onto. Like, get one quick because they're really cheap. And obviously, it's a rough and ready bit of kit, but for the money, it's definitely worth your while. Even when I watched Sean Mahall's video a couple of years ago that he did it, the tracking is basically, it's kept on the tracking pulley most of the time by the fact that it's got a guard overside. So you've got two plates of metal like this, and it's just bouncing around between because the tracking ain't brilliant. Anyway, what I've done is I've adapted mine, as I said I would. I'm going to try and make it so, because I got different grinders, the last thing I knew is I never wanted the same. So what I want to do is get it into a slack belt grinder. So what I've done is this. Get you nice and close, you can see the butchering effect of my techniques here. So there he is. I took the guard off the side, I took the grind wheel off, so the motor has less weight as a starter. I'm not going to use that wheel anyway, so I have got a spinning spindle at the 8. I might put a buffing mop on there yet, I don't really know, but I'm saving work on the motor. It hasn't got that big grinding wheel on the side. So I took that guard off, I took the side guard off here, and this is where the belt, unless you do a few tweaks to it, as soon as you turn it on, it just wants to shoot off. No matter how much you adjust the tracking on that big yellow nut, it just keeps slooping off to the side. So what I realized what I needed to do was throw it that way, in a nutshell. So what I've done is I've took the platen off, that's gone. I've ground away the side here, so, and I'm going to take away a bit more yet. So obviously, as a slack belt that goes down, this is going to get in the way. It's still getting in my way, so I actually want to take away a bit more yet. But as you take these guards off, there's less and less metal working on the belt, keeping it on track. So if you have a look up the side of this piece of metal, it curves away up there. And all you need to do is get yourself like a big pair of pliers or an adjustable spanner, or I mean you could even use that, do that up, okay, G-clamp or an adjustable spanner, make sure the power's off, make sure the belt's off, so you know, slacken it off, take the belt off, do that up there, and you've bent this to the side. You've literally bent that way. Now I'm guessing there's just a few degrees, but it's all that was needed to keep this annoying belt from, as soon as the power was turned on, all it wants to do is drop off the end of the world. So there's the tension back on, and you can see it's a hokey bit of kit, alright, but you got a pulley down here, a pulley down there, you got a tensioning system, you got a tracking system, the motor's got a sealed thing at front end and back end, you got a switch there you'd have to wire in, you got a plug. For you to make that for 30 quid, he's just not going to be able to achieve it. So that's why I've said go for it. So what we've got now is a slack belt 2-inch grinder, and once that's done up pretty tight, it still wants to go that way, and I've just got enough to keep it on. Otherwise, all it wants to do is shoot off the end here. So that's a little tweak that way. In time, the metal might creep back this way. I'll just nick it back the other side. Okay, but as I said, I still need to take a little bit more of this away so that I can get my blades into there as it's a slack belt and get it down this, because this is now slightly lower than that piece of metal. You're free and easy on this side, there's plenty of room, but when it comes to the other side, this piece of metal here gets in the way, and I'll just grind that away again. There was a shroud on the top here, a semicircular shroud, well that's cut off, and there was a shroud down there, and that's cut off. So now I've got access, and if you have a look at sections like this on a blade, that would go obviously there, or if there was a bigger section like this, that would go there. So hope that helps everybody. I mean, to use it as it is, the guards will keep the track in and they keep the belt slapping around between the things. Most people will probably keep the grind wheel on. To me, what I was after was a slack belt section, so I can actually finally do the finishing when I make my convex edges. As you know, I haven't got a beast of machine, so what I do is the blade edge is a series of scandies like that, and then now that little belt will blend and take the tops off of all those steps, so I can achieve a convex with only a 200 watt little grinder. I mean, if you're only doing little tiny little gizmos like that, you'll probably be fine, but most of my things are this big and there's 3 times as much steel to remove, so you know, it's far quicker using a grinder, doing a Scandi series of steps, and then finally I can blend it with that little mini 2-inch thing. The other point it was mic, so it's Strat. Okay, it was that the wheels feel bumpy. Now what I've done is I've took the drive wheel off, and I've noticed that where the drive mill meets the spindle, it isn't as flat as it could be. So actually the wheel's doing this. So the wheel isn't like very central. It's literally mass produced, alright? There isn't much finishing on it, and you get what you pay for. Normally these idler wheels from a company are in the origin of £47, a real one of those, okay? And a real one of those are looking at £30, properly machined up and properly balanced. So you are getting what you pay for. But what you could do if you had enough time was, if you took this wheel off, obviously turn the power off and a big spanner off of that, if you hold the wheel still as you undo the nut, you'll undo that. Now this nut will undo one way, this will be back to front, because obviously this needs to tighten as it comes towards you, and this needs to tighten as it comes towards you, so they're actually like an opposite thread. So once you get used to knowing which way round undoes, you undo this nut here, take that off, and if you literally had that spindle in your hand like this on some wet and dry board, and you went around and around, you'd finish the back of it off onto the side of this, and you might end up with a far better, flatter section right down in there. I wouldn't have thought that the spindle was off centre. I'd more than likely think that this doesn't mate onto the spindle absolutely true and ends up like that. So as it comes round, you get what they call, it's like a procession thing going on, where this is just wobbling backwards and forwards. So that could improve if you took this edge off and went around like that on a flat surface with some emery paper. But the actual tracking will be a lot better if you bend that up that way. So I hope that helps you, mate. Score 6, please. Have a good week.